Hey y'all. Hey Taurus. Welcome to the equinox. Welcome to a new season. Welcome to the spring equinox. For some of us who are elsewhere in the world, in the southern hemisphere, we may be experiencing the fall equinox, but for the rest of you, it is springtime, Aries season. Taurus, we're going to talk about three things. We have some big transits happening. We have a lot of divine beings or celestial bodies in the sign of Pisces right now. So Pisces has opened their doors and have welcomed different planets into their home, into their realm, into their palace. And those energies are causing a bit of a shakeup in all of our lives in some way, shape, or form. Okay. So Taurus, we're going to talk about three things. We're going to talk about your money, your relationships, platonic or romantic, or both. And we're going to talk about the spiritual energies and frequencies attached to these two things and how your soul is guiding you down the right path of growth with these two factors in your life of money and relationships. Okay, so we're still going to talk about the spirit. We're always going to talk about the spirit in these readings. Okay, so Taurus, this is for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs. But if you want deeper resonance, I do recommend that you check out your rising and your moon signs. Okay, so let's go ahead and see about your money, Taurus. And I'm going to try to take my time a little bit in these readings. I'm just being led to do that for these particular readings, just to sit here and just make sure that whatever energies are coming to mind, whatever my ancestors and spiritual messengers are telling me, that I relay that information to you, and just to kind of take my time a little bit more than I normally do. I usually take my times with my readings, but for these particular readings for the springtime, I would like to take my time. So I'm not saying that these readings are going to be like 2 hours and an hour and a half or anything like that. No. But I am going to maybe run a few minutes over what I normally upload. Okay. This is for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs for the spring equinox energies for your money flow, your jobs, for Aries, ancestors of light and messengers of light. You received organize for success. Organize for success. Hopefully you guys can see that. Bottom of the deck, we have savings. Savings. Whatever money that you can collect or pull out of your bank account to put in a savings account, put it in there, y'all, when it comes to your money, Taurus. You might, I don't want to say that you need to be frugal this season. Okay. I'm not saying that springtime is for you to be frugal, but springtime, I mean, some of you guys may go the minimalistic route or may become a bit more financially, frugal. But others of you, this is just talking about like what you can spend your money however you want. Just make sure that you have a savings account set aside, making sure your retirement is set aside, making sure that you have money set aside for a rainy day, making sure that you have money set aside for your bills instead of pulling it all out of your checking and, just spending money, like just make sure that you have money set aside for a rainy day or to pay bills or for a big purchase. And then we have organize for success. So that might be, That might be a bit of a challenge for some of you, Taurus, of being organized. Um, Okay, I'm getting kind of like ADHD vibes. I don't know where I'm getting that, or maybe OCD. I don't know, but there is some energy here where even if you have OCD, you still might feel very overwhelmed because of the amount of stuff you have. Or maybe there's a certain room that you have where there's just a lot of stuff and you're just like, where do I begin? Like, I maybe there's just a place in your home where, or in your office, what have you, where you're just like, I hate the way this looks. I hate how cluttered this is or how unorganized it is, but I just don't even know where to start. And your mind might be very, very overwhelmed. Um, and that's where I feel I'm getting the sense, Taurus, that I'm getting this energy of getting a booklet or a planner or some type of book with empty pages where you can, a notebook, that's pretty much what it is, a notebook or a planner where you can write down one by one what you're going to focus on each day. So if you have a planner, maybe you should have a planner to an organizing booklet or notebook, where you just write down everything that needs to be organized one by one. If you have a planner, write down on the first day what you're going to focus on in your house or in a certain room. Next day, you focus on the closet. Next day, you focus on cabinet space, or next day you focus on your drawers, where you keep your clothes. Things like that. There can be a lot of things that need organizing in your life. And the way your space exists is how your thoughts exist. So, where there is clutter in your exterior, there is clutter in the interior. And again, this is where the savings account also comes in, because maybe with your money, you just, you spend here and there, right? Um, some of you guys, maybe you need to practice being more responsible with your spending. Maybe you're spending excessively. Okay, please be careful with that this springtime. But it's going to be really beneficial for you, Taurus. If you just kind of buckle down and face your fear and just kind of compartmentalize your thoughts, compartmentalize or make a list of some things that you need to take care of on a day-to-day basis. And I'm also I'm getting told, don't feel that you have to get it all done in one day, in one sitting. It's okay to take it day by day, little by little. It's okay to take baby steps towards your goal. Like, taking baby steps does not mean that you're missing out on anything or that anything is passing you by. The sooner you take that baby step, the sooner you begin this chapter of success, right? So if there are those of you who may suffer from a certain type of OCD or a certain type of ADHD, um, where your material things are just, you just may be having a hard time organizing your space or organizing your finances, ask for help. If you have the money, hire a professional, right? If you have a family member or a significant other or someone that you live with who is, you know, um, very organized, okay? Um, they know how to put things in place, you know, or they're good with feng shui. I don't know, but if there's someone in your life who maybe you live with who is very, just very organized, maybe, or more organized than you may need to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm really struggling with this. Go to therapy if you need to, go to a physician if you need to kind of help understand how to comprehend the world around you, and make sense of what's going on in your mind and how it's affecting your environment. right? You may have somebody in your life who might be very detailed oriented, but at the same time, they know how to stay, they know how to keep their ducks in a row. They know how to keep things from being cluttered in their life. You may need to talk to them. You might just need a very honest person to just kind of look at your environment or look at your finances professionally and just say, hey, A, B, C, and D needs to be dealt with. You know, this is how much money you need to save up in order to reach this amount by the end of the year or the end of the month, the end of the quarter, what have you, right? So there when it comes to your money, Taurus, there's just some things that you just really need to be honest about. And maybe you have been honest with yourself about it. It's just that maybe you feel embarrassed, or maybe you feel, like I'll get to it at some point, but it's like you never do get to it, you know what I mean? Because you get distracted. So springtime is going to be like, again, Aries season. This is in my personal beliefs, Aries season is what begins the year. Not January, not Capricorn season. I'm sorry, Capricorns out there. It's Aries season, springtime. The year has officially begun. So things are going to, kind of start picking up pace a little bit in your life, in all of our lives. Okay. So let's go ahead and pull an oracle message. So that was your money messages, okay, in general. We're going to go ahead and pull messages on your relationships, your family relationships, your relationships at work, your coworkers, your bosses, your managers, supervisors, and even your romantic partnerships, if that is what's on your mind right now. For Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs for the spring equinox. Ooh. Interesting. You received the buffalo. Interesting, interesting. Oops. Let's see what card comes out after the split, because I normally split the deck first. You have the starfish. So we're going to go ahead and see what these cards, I'm not going to read these. These cards I read from the book. We're going to read the buffalo really quickly. And this is the earth energy. So let's see. Here we are. So with the buffalo, it says grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. Okay. So as you look to create luxury or enjoyment in your material life, Taurus, remember that your material items, your valuables, have energy attached to them. Okay? So as you navigate your material world, understand how to also navigate the heavenly realm inside. Heaven is inside of us. Hell is inside of us. What's in front of us can be difficult to navigate at times. But once we learn how to master the navigation of our inner sanctum, once we understand how to map out our palace, our home within, it will be easier for us to navigate the world, the material world that we live in these vessels, in these bodies. Okay. So yes, being a bit materialistic or focusing on material things, that's totally fine. Right? When it comes to your relationships, you may be very comfortable in a relationship right now. You may love your friends. You may really love your family. You may really love the person that you're with romantically, whether you're married or not. Just make sure that you're checking in up here and in here, making sure that the heart, soul, and mind are aligned. Because if you're getting caught up in the way things look in your relationship, you may lose sight of your path. You may lose sight of the growth, the inner growth and healing that may need to take place. So there's a need to find a healthy balance between what we can touch and see with our naked eye and with our hands, and what we feel from within. This is also understanding what authenticity means. Who are you truly? If you took away all of the material things that you have, who are you, Taurus? When you take away all these distractions, who are you? When you take away all these material things, what is it that you truly want in your life? The things that you purchase and surround yourself with will be a telltale sign of what you're truly lacking in your life sometimes. You want success financially? Set up a savings account and be committed to putting money into that savings account. You want success? Make sure you're organizing your spaces and keeping them organized. Make sure you're organizing your thoughts. And if you need help with that, go get help. Spiritual or professional help, right? One or the other. There's work to be done. You have the beaver at the bottom of the deck. There is work to be done. There's building and construction that is needing to take place. Get that work done, because your soul is calling for you to do that. We're going to get into the soul in a second with the other two oracle messages that I will pull before we jump into the tarot. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at the starfish, because that also came out for you, Taurus. That is the water energy, the water spirit of the starfish. And it says beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. Again, with your relation, this is all about your relationships right now. When it comes to your relationships, Taurus, you may tend to focus a lot on the way they look, the way people look, or the way you look. If there's a part of you that feels that you are not capable of manifesting or attracting a passionate love, or someone who's really going to look at you and see you as a beautiful creature, a beautiful human being, because of how you look, you might really want to address that with yourself. You might want to have a conversation with yourself and your soul about that. If you have someone in your relationships, maybe it's not you, Taurus, maybe it's someone you're in a relationship with, a friend, a family member, or a business partner or romantic partner. If you see or experience someone else that you know constantly talking about how people look, what people own, how much money they have, how much money they don't have, pay attention to those relationships and realize that those might be dragging you down a little bit. You may be looking for relationships that don't talk about material things in a superficial sense. You want to be surrounded by people in friendships or romantic partnerships where when you're going shopping and you're just having fun, it's just you guys having fun. It's not coming from a place of judgment. What you have does not make you who you are. You will enjoy what you have even deeper, even more, when you enjoy who you are. What you have does not make you who you are. the decisions that you make and the energies that you embrace, the energies that you are creating inside of yourself, for the good or the bad, is what makes you you. That's what makes you who you are. That's what creates whatever character you build, whether it's on a negative front or a positive front. Are you expressing yourself honestly? Or are you creating a certain form of falsehood and putting on a mask? Are you realizing that your relationships are people who are wearing masks and not truly, maybe some of you guys, maybe they're not truly expressing themselves honestly. They're not really communicating from a deeper place. They're masking something. Maybe you come from a family who is very superficial, or you come from a family who is very financial oriented, very judgmental about how people dress, or very judgmental about what people have or don't have, very judgmental about how people live their lives, very judgmental about, the type of car someone's driving, how old the car is, or maybe there's someone, or maybe this is you, Taurus, maybe you're constantly looking for the next best thing, the next best gadget or electronic, what have you. Those things don't matter. They won't matter when that is the only focus in your life, or things. Things don't matter because we can't take these things with us to the spirit realm when we exit this dimension. And some of you guys, Taurus, you might be very, some of you guys might be models, or you guys are fashion artists, or you guys are artists of some kind, or maybe it doesn't have anything to do with your profession, but you might be considered a very attractive individual. You may find that you are very, very particular, you know, about a lot of things. And that's okay. But just remember that you have a soul. Remember to embrace relationships that are true and honest, that are colorful, like truly colorful and lovely. So if you're surrounded, again, I'm getting somebody is surrounding themselves, or someone has a friend or family where there's just a lot of gossip happening, just talking about other people, never having anything good to say about other people. But deep down inside, there's this emptiness, there's this loneliness, there's this cup that is always needing to be filled, because it's just a bottomless, it's like a cup with a hole in it. It's like, no matter how much you buy, no matter how much you pour into this cup, it's making its exit through the bottom of that cup, or through that hole. So no matter how many things you have, Taurus, it's not going to fulfill you. So some of you guys may come to the realization that you need to get rid of some things. You may need to have a garage sale. You may need to sell some things online, sell it to a vintage shop, sell it to a thrift store, sell it, put it on auction. I don't know, but there's something where you may need to completely get rid of things, where you realize that, I really don't need this. Why did I buy this? You may go through your clothes, or go through some trinkets, and just look at it from a different perspective, and just feel that you just bought it because of some emotional turmoil you were going through. So there's definitely the need to spend time with people who are full of goodness, who don't have anything really to say about other people, who are who are okay with pointing the fingers at themselves, pointing the finger at themselves, who are honest with themselves, and who are just happy being themselves. Pay attention to your relationships. If there's anybody that you know, Taurus, in your life who likes to gossip a lot, and who likes to talk shit and judge people for what they have or how they look, you might want to, if you don't address it with that person, you might just kind of want to distance yourself from that person, because if this person is, if this person, whoever if this person is gossiping about people, they might be gossiping about you too. And if they're not gossiping about you, then maybe you're living up to certain expectations that are false. And then when you start living up to your own expectations and really being true to you, you might find that this person may start talking about you behind your back. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Be careful. Be careful with those relationships. You want friends that are actually willing to work to build a relationship with you, not friends who are willing to be somebody else. You don't have to agree on the same things or believe in the same things to be in a relationship with somebody. If it's true and honest, and there's growth within that person and within the relationship, it doesn't matter the way that person looks or what they have or what they can afford. Some of you guys may be in a romantic partnership where maybe people are judging you because the person that you're with may not have nice things and live that lavish or luxurious or clean lifestyle that you may have grown up with, possibly. Maybe there are people judging you because you don't. Maybe you live a simple life, but it's a cozy life, Taurus. Maybe you just live a life that makes you happy. And maybe this is a time for you to just kind of put your life on private, because you may have a lot of people who are judging you from afar, or when they come visit you, they're always trying to, maybe there's somebody who's asking a lot of questions. They're asking a lot of questions because they're trying to press you and question you to get as much information out of you about what you're doing in your life. And then they're going to run back to the family or back to whoever and talk shit. Protect your energy, y'all. You don't always, your life doesn't always have to be put out there for people to know about or for people to gaze at. So I'm getting big time during the springtime that you really might need to silence yourself when it comes to what you're doing in your life, just to protect your energy. Some of you guys, if there's a relationship where you're married to someone or you're about to get married to someone, you just might end up making that private. You may not invite a bunch of people. You might even not even tell a lot of people that you're getting married. You might elope or something like that. Okay, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising signs for the spring equinox of 2025. This is just kind of working in silence. Okay. I'm also getting maybe staying off of social media. And if you do post on social media, just keeping it very simple, or not really going into, not posting personal issues, personal experiences, just kind of keeping people questioning, but keeping people interested, right? So you may end up getting married or getting pregnant. Maybe you shouldn't tell too many people. You should only tell people that you trust with that information. Some things are just not meant to be shared with everybody, Taurus. Okay. Okay, so you have for the spirit. Now we're going to talk about the spirit and what your spirit is guiding you towards regarding this relationship and this money situation. Okay. Now we have card number 56. We have the poacher. 56 might be a specific number that you need to write down. Also, card number 13. And it says prolonging a fleeting fascination. So there could be those of you spiritually, on a spiritual level, your spirit could be telling you like this relationship is not going to last long. So some of you guys may have gotten into a relationship recently or in the past where it was a fling, Maybe it was a one night stand. I don't know. Maybe there was a lot of, very powerful, intense, passionate sex involved. Um, and so that's what kind of kept you around or kept this person around. Okay. Maybe you or this other person see each other as very attractive, very beautiful, and you just kind of feel like, maybe you may not say this out loud, but maybe there are other people around you who are just like, oh, they're attractive or they're beautiful or they're handsome or hot, whatever. Like they're a keeper. I don't really see that this I don't really see that whatever situation this is, I don't really see this person as being a keeper. I don't really see this, like, if this is a friendship, if this is not like sexual or romantic and it's just a friendship, someone that you clicked with really quickly, you guys just kind of hit it off. But as you get deeper into the relationship with the friendship, you realize that it's really, again, it's really not a friendship that's worth keeping around for the long term. Or for some reason you want it to stay, because of the energies that you're feeling from it. Okay. If this is a job or a money making, money resource of some kind, maybe this is not meant to last long. So maybe you've gotten yourself a job, or you've gotten yourself a position. Maybe it's a temporary position. It's not really a position that you want to keep for the long term. This may not be a position that you want to retire from or that you actually want to build a life from. This is a position financially that you can just have maybe for a few months, maybe to a year, and then you just kind of like find something better. Um, and then at the bottom of the deck, you have the moose, and it says conceding a powerful animal's control. So this is definitely showing me here, Taurus, that you need to release control within this narrative in the springtime. So you're trying to hold on to things. You're holding on to a perspective based on the way things look. And you may have people who are holding on to you because of you. Okay, some of you Taurus may have somebody that's living vicariously through you, and that's the only reason they're around is because of the things that you have, or it's because of how you make them feel about themselves when you're around them. Instead of them doing the work to feel better about themselves, they kind of take away from your energy in a way. This moose, this card number 13, this powerful animal is the situation that you're in. It's the spirit. It's not the situation that you're in. It's the spirit. It's your soul that is the powerful animal. It is your spirit guides, your ancestors, God, who are telling you to concede, to give up control of this. Because you constantly are giving control to this narrative that the way you look, the way things look is what matters. The things that you have are what matter. I'm not saying having material, like having things is a bad thing. Okay. I'm not saying that. I'm a Leo. So, I understand. But how are you adding value to you? How are they bringing in value into your life? Just because they have a valuable price tag on it does not mean that it's bringing value to you. You first have to do the inner work to truly embrace yourself, Taurus, this spring. You have to face your fears financially, mentally, romantically, or platonically with friends or colleagues. You need to face some things about the tangible. Face the fact of the tangible being of more value than your soul. Your soul and your decisions in life make you who you are, not who you're in a relationship with, not your friends, not your family, your bloodline, who you're married to, how much money you have. That doesn't make you who you are. It's a part of who you are. But what makes you you is you. You and your healing and your growth and your sacrifices and, you know, your building of character, your soul is who you are. Let's pull one more oracle message, you guys, and then we're going to jump into the tarot towards the end of your reading. We're going to pull from the Kali Oracle deck, and then we're going to read a little bit from the card that is pulled for you. Ancestors of light, messengers of light, angels. What messages of guidance do you have? Spiritual guidance do you have for Taurus, sun, moon, and rising signs for the spring equinox regarding their spiritual energies, regarding their money and their relationships in life this spring? Interesting. One of the cards wanted to show themselves. Interesting. You received Chinamasta. It looks very gruesome, I know, but I have a feeling that there's somebody who needs to get snipped. There's something that is controlling your mind and trying to take control of your narrative and your soul's path here. And I feel like it has something to do with a person. The other card that wanted to fly out was Kundalini Shakti. This is powerful. This is powerful. Very intense, powerful endings this spring for you, Taurus. And I feel it's coming in the form, like you are going to be completely transformed when you face these things. Like you're going to be a new you by the end of the springtime, by the time summer comes around. This is like otherworldly energies coming through to help you, Taurus. So we're going to go ahead and read the card that wanted to fly out, which was the Kundalini Shakti card. Okay. And it says, as purification is rarely an enjoyable experience, this powerful natural process requires courage. As energy shifts and we are cleansed emotionally, we may have physical symptoms of discomfort and dramatically fluctuating moods. Our thought processes may be confused and our perception not as astute as it may otherwise be. Like sediment being sifted from the bottom of a water glass, that which was clear becomes temporarily muddied. As the sediment is removed and the water settles again, but with more clarity. The oracle indicates a need to be patient and to allow for the confirmation of signs and intuitions. You do not need to ignore signs to act, but it is wise to recognize that you are presently within a liminal space of healing. The way things look now will change dramatically in the not too distant future. It is not wise to try and build a foundation on shifting ground. Be patient. Trust that you will know when the time to act is upon you. Let's go ahead and read card because you have number 10 and 20. So what I'm getting here is, Taurus, this transformation of deeper healing, of pulling yourself away from the material and diving into the spiritual and the emotional and healing that, you are going, like, for the next 10 years. and onward, you will be forever changed. This decade that you're in, if you're in your 30s, if you're in your 40s, 50s, or 60s, whatever decade you're in, 70s, 80s, onward, whatever decade you're in your life, Taurus, that decade is changing. I would say 30s. Some of you guys have hit your 30s, and it has been a life-changing experience. What you thought you loved, what you thought you liked, what you thought you desired has completely changed. It's changing this summer, right? So let's go ahead and read this one card for Chanamasta or China Masta. Another very powerful, intense looking card. And then we're going to jump into the tarot. I know there's reading involved, but I'm being led to do that. It says China Masta is potent medicine for liberation. The truth will set you free, Taurus. Okay. Her graphic iconography differentiates her from other forms of Kali that wear her favorite accoutrements of severed heads and skull garlands. China Masta's severance is of her own head. This represents self-liberation. We do not need to wait for another to intervene. She shows the way to save ourselves, to move from inner courage and inner wisdom. Her presence can indicate a time when you must trust yourself completely without external support systems to rely on. The beliefs and constructs that once supported you will no longer be able to do so. Success cannot come from the tried and true path of the past. You are evolving beyond that. It's time to rest in the void and allow for a new way to emerge. Taurus, whatever you are holding on to, this coming up this springtime, I have a feeling that you guys are done with this. Whatever relationships you're holding on to materialistically, if there's a relationship that you're in because maybe finances, maybe there's something with finances and maybe you're afraid to move on because of finances. I don't know. That is a fact for a lot of people out there. Maybe you haven't divorced or moved on because of your kids or because of money problems or what have you. Maybe you're afraid that your life is going to change drastically when you leave this situation. It will, and it's okay, but you will be so free, Taurus. So free. If this is a family relationship where you're so used to your family being the way they are and putting up with their BS or putting up with disrespect, you may decide to just completely cut yourself loose because you're tired. You're done. Whatever you're holding on to financially, whatever mental struggles that you've been holding on to and afraid to face and afraid to get help for, it is your time to rescue yourself. It's time to save yourself. It's time for you to be your own salvation. You just got to do it. Whatever relationships are meant to end them yourself. So if this is a breakup, this is not a time to wait around for the right moment for a breakup to happen. This is you ending it, Taurus. This is you saying, I'm done with this. I'm divorcing you, or I'm done with this. We're breaking up. I'm done with this. I'm moving out. I'm done with this. I'm deleting your number. I'm blocking your number or whatever. You don't even have to tell the person. You might just block them on your own. If it's a job or a money resource, if you're done with it, walk away. Don't hold on to it because of whatever fears are swirling around in your head. Now, again, just like the card said, you're in a liminal space of liberation, of freedom, of healing. You're not going to really feel grounded at first. You're not really, and if those of you guys are in that liminal space now, it feels very uneasy because you just kind of feel like you're in limbo. You're just like, what's happening? Where am I? You may struggle with feeling grounded. And with the buffalo here in your relationships, eventually you're going to, in the springtime, you're going to feel You're going to find that space where you're like, okay, this is where I am. Look around you. If you just broke up with somebody, or you just quit a job, a long time job, or a long time relationship, whatever, if you just went to go get some mental help, maybe you've been put on medications, or you just started a new project or a new task that's completely new to you, that's just completely taken you out of your comfort zone, Taurus, just make sure you just kind of, I love doing this exercise where you just close your eyes and you take deep breaths, and you just tell yourself out loud, where am I? Where am I? Even if you have to cry, if it makes you cry, cry. Be in the present moment, here and now. Even in this liminal space, be in the present. You're alive. What friends do you have that surround you right now? Ground yourself in that space. Who is loving you right now? Ground yourself in that space. What do you have right now? Ground yourself in that space. This is just temporary. This is just you transitioning from point A, and you've been at point A for probably all your life, right? And now it's time to get to the next point, the next destination from there. Took you a long time to start that journey, but now you started it, and now you're trying to get to point B. You've never been here before. A lot of you guys who I'm talking to right now, you've never been to point B. You haven't been to this destination. It's unknown territory. But once you get there, then you'll understand what was waiting for you for the longest time, for years. Now you'll understand what true love feels like, what having a clear headspace feels like, what liberation feels like, right? Let's go ahead and pull some tarot. I'm going to pull 3 tarot cards for you guys, and then we'll end your reading, Taurus, and we will clarify them as well. So let's go ahead and see overall who you're dealing with, what kind of zodiac signs you might be dealing with. Taurus, sun, moon, rising signs, specifically rising and moon signs, but for all 3, we're going to see what zodiac signs you might be dealing with, sun, moon, or rising signs, and what specific energies are at play for Taurus, sun, moon, rising signs out there, ancestors of light, messengers of light. For their money and their romantic partnerships on a spiritual level. Who are they dealing with? What are they dealing with in particular? Could be dealing with an Aquarius, could be dealing with a Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, could be dealing with any of the signs actually, but specifically Capricorn, a water sign of any of the 3, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, or an Aquarius. So what I'm getting here toward, wow, okay, yep, material world, the devil, right? The material world. There is definitely, some of you guys are dealing with addiction, or you're dealing with somebody who has an addiction to something. It doesn't have to be just alcohol or drugs. It can be sexual addiction, okay? Somebody is addicted to sexual or to materialistic things. Others of you, when it comes to your relationship with somebody, this temporary relationship here, could be a Capricorn. It could definitely be a Capricorn. All right. Some of you guys may have a very high sex drive, okay? And you may need to find a way to kind of balance that out in your life. Others, and that's okay to have a high sex drive. Some people have a higher sex drive than others, is fine. So you may have a partner who may not have as high of a sex drive, or maybe it's swapped where your partner has more of a high sex drive and you don't. But I'm also getting that there might be a temporary relationship or relationship that you have been trying to make last that has only really been around because of sexual benefits, right? Sexual favors, what have you. Like the sex is probably really amazing with this person. And that's, that's really the only reason why you stick around. But others of you, if this is not sexual, this is just materialistic things. This is like almost like an addiction for some of you, or you're dealing with someone who has like an addiction of some kind, addicted to buying things. Maybe there's someone who has, maybe who they hoard. Maybe you have a family member who's like a hoarder in a way, or they just like to buy a bunch of things. Maybe you like to buy a bunch of things and you realize, like, why do I, like I was saying earlier, why do I have this? Why am I buying this? And I think it has something to do with the emotions. Because I look at the devil card and it's like, it has a lot to do. I do see this as like the spirit and the emotional body, where whatever is going on inside of you causes you to go outside, it causes you to go and buy things or collect things, right? So, this springtime, this is a time to bring things into balance. There is assistance. There is assistance here with the Six of Swords. So, you and someone else, you may have a child, or or you and your family, um, may have had to move. Or maybe you and another person have had to move, okay, to a healthier place, maybe a different city, a different country, a different state, okay. Three of Cups, this is the heart, this is friends, family, people that you dine with, people that you drink with, people that you celebrate with, people that you hang out with, right, on a regular basis, or on a consistent basis, whatever kind of consistent basis that is, monthly, weekly, okay, bi-weekly, bi-daily. So it's taking into consideration, taking note of your relationships and the people that you give your heart to and your time to and your thoughts to. Recognizing first off that you need to move, or that you need to distance yourself. You need to move away from someone or something, or distance yourself away from someone or something. These are people that you've definitely spent a lot of time with, and finding a new circle of friends, or finding, maybe if it's not a new circle of friends, it's existing friends and partnerships that you already have that you may not have given your time to for certain reasons of the past. But as you move forward into the future, Taurus, you have the World card. This is stepping into a portal here. Stepping into a portal. Leo is also here. I feel like I can't remember what what's going on with the sign of Leo, or the energy of Leo, this springtime. But there's something big with Leo happening, and I've been seeing Leo pop up here and there. So Leo might have a message for all of us. So definitely check out Leo's reading, Taurus, even if you don't have Leo in your chart, 100%. But I'm seeing that there is, just like this other card said, you need to kind of experience pain in order to understand the world around you. Some of you guys may have come from a past where you were sheltered, or you were able to create certain type of protections around yourself, or you never really went through like a really hard time in your life like others, maybe. And maybe you finally hit that point where the universe was like, okay, Taurus, it's time to learn, it's time to grow. And so things are kind of coming full circle. Okay. So there's definitely some type of burden that has come up recently surrounding your money and surrounding your material, valuable things. Something has definitely come up and has really caught your attention. Something that some of you guys probably never really thought would even come around for you. Maybe there's some of you that thought, maybe when you were younger, you just thought like, oh, that's what other people go through. Like, I would never make that decision, or I would never fall for that, or I would never, like, that's not for me, whatever. And and it, People think like that. That's okay as long as you're willing to grow from it and learn from it. So this is definitely like some type of lesson that is coming full circle for you in the springtime. And it's definitely caused you to really think about life differently. And I really feel like somebody has to move, and somebody was not really expecting this move to happen. Someone became very, very comfortable where they were, and then again, things may have happened where you had to realize, I gotta go, or this is becoming unhealthy, or I can't stay here. However, things are getting better. Things are getting better. Friendships are getting better. Friendships are growing. New friendships are coming up. New romantic partnerships or existing partnerships blossoming and growing and healing. Karma being cleared out, karmic cycles being cleared out and ended, right? Coming to its finale. So this is definitely something that you had to make happen, Taurus. I don't see that this is something where somebody came in and had to do it for you, or the universe having to come in. This was you making the conscious decision that I cannot do this anymore. I need to get the fuck out of there, right? So let's go ahead and clarify these cards really quickly. Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising signs for the spring equinox. Lessons and blessings. Yeah, somebody got cut off. Somebody, yep, you got the Queen of Swords. Cutting off heads left and right. You cut somebody off. You cut somebody off, Taurus. You're like, I'm done. Because you're ready for this future. You're ready for this new beginning here. You're ready for this new experience. Three of Cups being clarified by the Three of Wands. Yes. So there are three new people, or three people that you are about to have a beautiful relationship with. Three friends. It could be two friends and one romantic partner. It could be three family members. It could be a family member and two friends. I don't know. There is definitely growth in your relationships with some people here, whether they are existing or new. Because what you've realized is that you've been living a lie with the Seven of Swords, Taurus. You've been living a lie. You've been tiptoeing around this for far too long, and the universe is saying no more. It's time to set things straight. It's time to speak the truth. And here goes Leo right at the bottom. It's time to free yourself. It's time to liberate yourself, right? All right, Taurus, much love and light to all of you. I wish you guys the very best of luck on this journey. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I hope to see you guys in your next reading. Happy spring. Bye, guys.